Hopefully you can hear me well. Hopefully that I don't have a coughing spree or anything like that, because I do have a case of bronchitis, for those of you who know. But I wanted to carry on and do a live stream today. And this is the painting that I'm going to be focusing on. I just think this is a really nice example. Let me just turn my light on. I just think this is a really nice example, and if you've not painted on heavier paper, this is part of a sample pack that I did get from Jackson's Art. Various different brands, different weights, and this is one of the heavier papers. And if you can see just a few of the details in the distance, I really like the way the watercolor texts this paper. So for distance, it's really nice when you have these faded, distant trees. I just think it's a really nice paper to use. Obviously, it's more expensive, so I usually use £140 cold press, but I think this might be £400 or £500 in weight. So it is really thick, and it really does absorb the water and the colour really well, if you can see that background. And I just think this is a really nice painting. I saw it a few weeks ago, one of the videos that I put up, if you've seen that. Just a walkthrough of some of the paintings that I've done in the last sort of couple of years. And this definitely is one that I wanted to do a little bit of work on. So welcome everyone. Hopefully you enjoy this one. Like always, I'm going to leave this video on my channel, so if you don't get a chance to see this live stream, then you can see it at a different time when it's obviously good for you. So obviously different people from all around the world, which is crazy just to think that, you know, you can post a video and be seen in all these different countries. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm just mixing up a little bit of sap green, a little bit of yellow ochre, and I just want to add something to the trees. Just want to darken up some areas, and it always does look a lot nicer once you've gone in and just added a few more details. I can feel a bit of a cough coming on, so hopefully I can do this without causing too much of a disruption. And I do have some cough tablets, some lozenges at hand just in case. But here we go. I didn't want to miss any more live streams, so just thought now or never. So I hope you're all well. I hope you had a good, if you've been on holiday or during the school holidays, everyone's back now, my wife, my son, and so I have this quiet time, and hopefully I can get back to a normal sort of routine and do these live streams as well. I'm going to try and go for a few live streams this week. It's something that I have missed. I miss doing these little live streams for you, and hopefully I'd love to receive your feedback. Hopefully I get some nice feedback. Let me know what you think, and also if you do hit that like, I do appreciate that as well. It does really help. Hi Harpy, you okay? Hopefully you're well. Whereabouts are you from? If you just hit that like, and it'll get notify more of more people, and hopefully I get a few joining. It is just difficult, obviously, different time zones. 10 o'clock in the morning isn't great for everyone, but it's ideal for me. Obviously you can't live stream when it's good for everyone, but yeah, I mean, I've had one of my followers set his alarm. The Black and Blue Coyote, hi, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy this. Please do hit that like. If you want to share this with friends or family, please do go ahead. It really does help. You know, I'm trying to improve my watch time hours, so I'll get more views and people to watch for even longer. That really would help. So if you are here, then please just stick around for as long as you can. If you do have things to do, I appreciate that. But just keep this video playing, keep this live on. You can make a brew. You can just keep the video playing, and that really does help me out. I really do appreciate that. So yeah, the purpose of this is just, it's a painting that I've already done, as you can see, and I just feel like it just needs a little bit more. It is a really nice painting, I think, at the moment, but I think it can be a lot better. Oftentimes I do have regular breaks during my painting, and it's oftentimes when you have these breaks that you see things that you can add, things that would just tweak it, really. Just tweak your painting and to get a more finished and better result. So that's what I'm doing. Excuse me. Hopefully that's the last of the cough. But yeah, I'm just going to add some darker details to this tree, obviously, and everything that's in the foreground I feel would benefit from a darker tone, giving it more contrast. And I just really like the way the paint has sort of like dissolved in the background. And maybe that's something that you can, well, you can do it on normal paper. When I say normal, I mean 140 pound in weight. But I think with a heavier paper, it does give quite a nicer like distance background. It does give a bit more. So obviously it's more expensive, and it's not something that I go out and buy usually. This was a Jackson's pack with different brands and different weights, so it just gave me a chance to try different papers before you commit and buy. So I like the Arch paper, really nice paper to use, but it's not everyone's price bracket. I understand that, and it's not mine at the moment. But this was a sample pack. I think maybe I got about 20 sheets of different weights, and they were all cotton paper. So that being the holy grail of watercolor, ask any watercolor artist, and you know it's just a much better paper to use. It absorbs more, and it takes more punishment, if you like, and it doesn't bend as much because it's a thicker paper. So it can absorb a lot more water, and that's why it's one of the sought after papers, being cotton. So obviously the weight does make a difference as well. So if you are on a budget, you know, maybe it's a bit out of your price range, Jackson's Art, you can get these really nice samples, papers that you've probably always wanted to try, things like Milford, obviously Arch paper, and obviously they come in different weights as well. It's quite a minefield, really, when you're looking into watercolor. There's different brands, different types of paper. I know I've used Cardi paper before, and that's a handmade Indian paper. But I'm not really, I've got to say that it's not my favourite of papers. I do have some more, so I probably will do some more with those, because I don't like my paper just lying there without painting on them. So I think I will revisit the Cardi papers, but I'm not Not convinced. It's not my my favourite of papers. It does behave a lot different. It is really different. So if you're looking into the Cardi papers, just beware. Just beware. Um, it does act a lot different. It's got a different personality, as I like to call it. So it is really different, and you've got to have that in mind. You get these when you paint on them, it's almost like a chalky. It's really textured paper, and so it does have a effect on the overall painting. So just be mindful if you're looking into getting some Cardi paper. Not the easiest to work with, but it does take a lot of water. It can, take a lot. I'm just adding some sap green to this bit of land area, and this could be a bit of a marshland, I think. I don't know. It's it's a painting that I did make up. I just wanted something different and a different colour sky. I wanted to get away from the blue sky, the normal sort of things that I like to paint, and just do something with a bit of red, bit of, it's like a peach colour. So I think this is quite a nice colour, and that's why looking at this, I just think I really want to work on this a bit more. I just think with the background especially, it just really, really, I think it's a really nice one. So hopefully I don't kill it. Hopefully I don't add too much and take away from what is already there. Let me see what you're saying. If you're here, just drop us a comment. I do appreciate your thumbs up. Let's get as many likes as we can on this painting, on this live. I'm just going in with yellow ochre. I'm just using yellow ochre and sap green at the moment. Excuse me. So hopefully I can improve what's already there. Are you still here, Harpy? Are you still here? Whereabouts are you from? Let me know where you're from. Are you still here, Black Blue Coyote? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know where you're from. Like I said, I just find it fascinating, this platform, YouTube. Not really good with any other platforms. I don't really use Facebook too much. Social media, it's not really a thing that I enjoy, really. I just like YouTube more than anything. So I spend most of my time on YouTube, and this is the best place to find me. You can always catch me on YouTube somewhere doing something. And the lives are something that I want to do each and every week, so you can catch me here if you want. So just add in a few little details to these mid-ground trees, just to enhance, really. Like I said, it's just a tweak of what I've already done, and I just think this can look really nice, I think. Let me know, and if there's anything you want to see, anything you want to see me paint, then just let me know. I would love to know what sort of things you like. I do normally tend to excuse me, I do tend to paint these landscapes. I really enjoy painting landscapes, and a lot of times I do make the scenes up like this one. I just find it really nice. There's no rules, there's no you're not restricted in any way if you're painting from a photograph. It's the temptation of painting exactly what you see on the photograph, and that can be limiting in a way. It can be restricting, and you have to get things you just fall into a trap. I know I do. I fall into the trap of just trying to get things exactly the way they are on the photograph. And that's why I like to just be free and paint whatever I want. I can have a tree here, I can have a tree there. I just see how things go, and obviously with watercolor it is unpredictable. So I do like that in watercolor. That's one of the things that really attracts me to the medium. These unexpected things that happen. Just still mixing with the, actually it's a bit of Indian yellow, yellow ochre and sap green at the moment. So yeah, I just like the freedom of painting anything I want, and just don't try and force things as much. And I think that's one of the benefits of painting whatever you want, just not going from a reference. It really gives you the freedom, and let the watercolor do what it does best. And a lot of times you do get these things happen and it's unexpected and you've not tried to do it, you know, you get these happy accidents, things like that. And just embrace that. Just embrace that. It's a really unique characteristic of watercolors. I do like to paint in oils as well. That's something that I really, really enjoy doing. It's just completely different to watercolors. You have more time. I think with watercolor, unless, I mean, at this stage you can take your time, but watercolor usually is a fast medium. You got to sort of work quick. You got to look at the paper. You got to see how wet the paper is before you add other things to it. Depending on what you want to sort of achieve, you got to pay attention to how much water is on the paper. So I think I'm going to hit some different colours. Let me just tap into that just as much of just the Indian yellow as I can. I mean, it is contaminated with the yellow ochre, but there we go. We're not going to let that detract or put me off. Just going to go in and add a few bits here and there. You can see that it's a really nice colour, the Indian yellow. I don't really use it that much. I think if you was to ask me my favourite colour, it probably is the yellow ochre. I do love that colour, and I think it's quite, it doesn't matter what brand you have, I think it behaves just the same in most brands, for what I've tried anyway. That's my opinion. Let me know what yellow ochre you use, what brand. I would like to get some different brands of yellow ochre and really push that colour, because I do love that colour. Just tapping into a bit of Pyro Red with my yellow ochre now. I want a little bit of colour in these trees. Not too much, just something that's going to give your eye something a little bit different to look at, and it's nice. It's a nice colour anyway, so you can see what's happening there. Let me just move the camera just a little bit closer. Sorry, it's shaking. I've got my camera on my ring light. So yeah, just a few spots of this colour. And again, it's not pure Pyro Red. You can use any red, cadmium red, or whatever red you may have, even burnt sienna you could have as well. So it is mixed with the yellow ochre, so it's not as vibrant, and it just knocks it back a little bit. And it don't look too, it don't stand out too much. I don't want anything like that. I think the main focal point for me is this building. So I don't want anything to, I just want to lead your eye into that, that focal point. And so anything I do hopefully just brings your eye into the middle. And I do love the background, so I don't want anything to detract from there. If anything, what I want to achieve in this one is bring all the foreground to the front, and then the background will be pushed right back to the distance. So that's the plan. Obviously, in watercolor, you just don't know what's going to happen, but that's my plan anyway, and I'm going to go for that. Just a few little defining, just a few bits really. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this painting, but there's not really much. There's not really much to do without spoiling things. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something quite different here. I did pick up this new painting tool. This is the sponge, so I'm going to use that. I'm just going to add a bit of a tree, bush, something. Just add in yellow ochre, Indian yellow, bit of the red, and I'm just going to, with the sponge, you can see, just add a bit of a bush or something in the corner. There we go. And that gives it a nice balance. I want some dark now into that, so I'm going to touch in some neutral tint. Oh, that is quite dark. Let's see. Yep, I think that's quite nice. Yep, I think that will do for that. Maybe a little bit here. Now with having tape on the paper just to keep it secure, I do paint. Don't worry about getting paint on the tape. It just allows the painting. It allows the foreground to not look like it's just started from the edge of the painting. It looks like it's something that's continued from beneath the tape, and that'll be revealed obviously once I take this tape off. So you get some really nice things going on. Now I can't find my liner brush. I have to use the no. I don't know where my liner brush is gone. I should have grabbed that before I started, but there we go. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Famous last words. Like I say, oftentimes you don't know really what the painting is going to look like. I think for me, when I start a painting, I do have something sort of generally in my mind what I want to achieve for the painting. But then I just go for it, and oftentimes it does take a turn, and you get something that you weren't really expecting. So I think that's going to be the case here as well. I'm going to get some dark just underneath this bit of land, bit of marshland, whatever it may be. You can see I've left some white of the paper just to indicate some highlights on water. And so that's quite nice. And you can use your fingers if your paint's too dark and you want to take out a little bit, then you can use your finger as another tool. Hopefully you can see. Just adjust the angle of the camera. There we go. Yeah, so it's all about practice. It's all about experimenting with different techniques, different things, see what works and see what doesn't. Don't worry too much if things don't go to plan. A lot of times it don't go to plan with me either. And I've been painting for a long time, so it's something that I think you'll always battle with. Just the unpredictable nature of watercolor. Okay, so you can see some of this has disappeared what I can do is just add into that, just spots here and there. I think it's not quite dry yet, but yeah, just add in some darker details to these trees, bushes, and all this sort of foliage. I think I'm going to add some dark now to this. Just a few little areas here. I'm just adding a couple of dark shadows and just a few little darker areas. I think it's nice. You can see how quite thick the paint I'm using. So there's less water to pigment, and that gives me this really darker tone, just to give contrast and obviously distance within the scene. It gives it a nice, separating the foreground, midground and the background, just gives that nice overall look. I'm just going to find my liner brush, because I don't know where it is, but I could do with that. Let me just give me one sec. I don't know. Right, found it. It was on the floor in the conservatory. It's been knocked off, and well, I've got it now. So let's oh, excuse me. Let me there we go. Okay, let me just pull this down a bit. There we go. Okay, so I've got my liner brush. This is number 2 liner. You can see nice long tip. Really nice brushes to use, especially for trees and branches and all that sort of thing. So I'm just going to go in and just add some of these. You can see just paint these branches and tree limbs, things like that. It really does. I think everyone who paints in watercolor, everyone needs one of these brushes. I don't know what sizes they do, but just the long tip of this brush is really, really useful. There we go. So hopefully you can see a difference now as I'm painting these details. Let me move you closer in. Hopefully you can see that. It does give this painting just another sort of layer. And I want some of the twigs and branches to be not as strong, I guess, not as dark, not as defined. Whoop. Now that's what happens as well sometimes. You get these things that happen as mistakes, you drop brushes and things like that. So hopefully you can see what's happening. And I really like this stage of the painting, although I don't often finish my painting. But when you add to it like this, it is a really nice stage of the painting. A bit contradictory, I know, but yeah, it's just a nice stage when you get your finishing touches to the painting. Add in the darks, things like that. Don't forget that, you usually start in watercolor. You usually start with the lighter tones, and then obviously progress. And as you progress, you start using more and more pigment and your darker tones. So that's this sort of stage now. If I was painting this from start, this is just the final stage, and just adding those darker areas, you can get really defined. You can really go as dark as you want. That's something that I'm trying to do. Just, not stop. Just don't be afraid to push those darks, because when you get the really dark areas, it just helps the painting to pop, and it gives you these the lighter areas in the painting just really stand out, really shine. So that's the goal. Okay, and don't forget, if you do have ink pens, liner pens, microns, these are really nice to use as well. That's something I like to do in my painting. If you're not confident with the liner brush, maybe you don't have a liner brush, but you can always use an ink pen just to draw some of the details, some of the finer details. And obviously you can get different sizes of pens as well, which I do have a few of those sets. You can buy them in packs, different nibs, different sizes, and that's always nice, especially in watercolor. Let's see. Okay, let me just move back a little bit. Hopefully you can see all of this painting. I usually, when I'm painting with this liner brush, it usually is just for twigs and sticks and lines, but I do like to use it a bit more as well. Just go into bits of detail. You can use it as it sort of moves around a lot. It does give sort of what would you call it? Spontaneous sort of marks, because it just moves around a ton. So it's nice to get these details just flicking up and down, that sort of thing, and it does offer this nice effect. I'm just jumping around, just going all different parts of the painting. There's obviously some parts are wet and some parts are ready to go in the dry areas. I mean, you can spatter at this point, but usually I do sort of get splats in places that I don't want, and so I don't want to spoil this one. But yeah, that's let's have a look. Okay, I don't know whether to add anything to the building. Maybe it doesn't need anything, but just adding things around the building, just add more and more detail. Not too much, but just take your time. There's no rush, you can do this at your own leisure. You can do this in your own sort of pace. There's no rush. Nobody's counting down the time. If you do want a looser painting, though, it is nice to paint with a time in mind. Obviously, you want to loosen up, then spend a bit less time and sort of get things down as soon as you can. And the bigger brushes, that helps as well to loosen up your paintings. Okay, I want a little bit of bright red. Let's see how this turns out. A bit of crimson, alizarin crimson, and pyro red. Oh, I think that's nice. Just to dot a few. These could be flowers. These could be anything that's growing in the, I don't know. Just nice. It's just something a bit different. And mixing different colours. I'm not fussed really about the colours. I think more about tone, more about temperature. And yeah, I think that's quite nice. I'm going to add some of that as well to this area. You see that? Quite nice. I don't want to go too much with that colour. I want it to be just a few little areas, really, because obviously in watercolour less is more, and when you do things and overdo them, like maybe, I don't know, highlights and things like that, if you get too many on there, it can detract. It can go the opposite way, and that's something I don't want to do. Just adjust. There we go. Okay, hopefully you can see most of the painting. Please don't forget to like, and if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, then please consider subscribing. Like I say, I do. At the moment, I'm trying to get as many videos out as possible. But definitely like doing these lives, and hopefully I'll get more people joining the more I do it. And just let me know what sort of things you'd like to see. Do you like these paintings when I grab a painting that I've previously done and start adding details to it? Do you like this sort of live? Let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts. I want to know what you want to see. I'd love to know that. I think I might be coming up to finishing this. Obviously, like I said, sometimes less is more. And so there's a fine line, I think, from getting too much detail. There's a fine line. It's not something I usually cross. If you've been to my channel before, I usually finish when there could be more added. Maybe it's fear of spoiling things, I'm not sure, but hopefully I'm not the only one that does that. But it is what it is. We're all learning, and we all have our different sort of struggles with watercolour. We all approach things different, and we can all improve, right? We can all improve. We can all learn more, and that's the purpose of this platform, YouTube. There's many a good artist out there. It's fascinating to see just a couple of details, and again I'm still using my liner brush, but let's see, just gonna add some more slightly dark. I don't want too much. Oh, see, that happens as well when you get splats happening dripping off your brushes when you don't want it to. But there we go. I think I'm going to call this one done. In fact, I think I'm going to add a few birds. So I'm going to grab drawing pen and go for, this is a pack that I got, Faber-Castell 6 artist pens, and I'm going for the medium. Oh, don't know whether you can see that. Medium. Going for the medium. It's got a nice tip to it, and I'm just going to add a couple of birds. Like I said, it's quite nice to add these to your landscapes. And you can see that big bird, and obviously the smaller ones you got further away. They're a bit of a pattern, I think. So I need to break that. There we go. So it looks like there's some birds there. They've been disturbed by something, and they're flying away from the scene or towards. Doesn't matter. But yeah, that's it for this one. I think I'll leave that as it is. But let me remove the tape so you can get a proper look at what's underneath. So I'm just ripping off the masking tape. I'll leave the top one on just to keep the painting secure. But that's it. I hope you like this one. You see, I'm just going to tilt the camera. Hope you like this one. I hope it's something that's going to be useful. I hope you give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel. I love your feedback. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next. Take care. Bye-bye.